Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Cafe Gallery right here at Gallery Cabaret. I know there's not many of you around, but hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I feel it's not all mellow because it's actually getting colder here in Chicago. And I'm all wearing my glasses all goofily like. But I wanted to let you guys know that despite this phenomenal, last minute, but phenomenal nonetheless, feature, Mr. Patrick Curley. Give it up for Patrick Curley, come on! Woo! Despite the phenomenal feature that's coming up tonight, because he's going to take lots of time for reading lots of excellent poetry for us, I thought I would start and end the evening with poems that you may have never heard before of mine from the periodic table of poetry. The only reason why I'm doing that is because I don't even happen to have the paper around with me. I am one of the first features. There's a little post-it note, and it's probably in my little fold-out folder. I don't know where it might be. John's going, I'm going to find it for you. At the Chicago Cultural Center on Wednesday, the 30th of January. It is during the day, right about lunchtime, at the 12 o'clock hour. If anybody is working downtown, you can always go to Chicago Cultural Center and see 3 features. Kathleen Schandelmeyer and a few other people are hosting this thing, and I'm one of the first features that's there. And I'm going to be doing periodic table stuff, and it'll be stuff that's never read before. But I thought I would start and end the evening by reading things that have never been read here before with periodic table poems. So this is a poem that I read. My sidekick Bob Rashka may have heard this before, but this was read on the 25th of August at the Evanston show at Perla Cafe. I did an astronomy theme. I heard that before, but somebody actually came up to me afterward. This is why I'm reading this one. Somebody came up to me after the fact and said, "This is a really good piece. This is very anti-nuclear." And I'm like, really? I wasn't actually going for it. You know, everybody can take whatever they were interested in from this. So I thought I would share with you at number 92 in the periodic table. This is uranium. The sun really is an explosive thing. With primarily hydrogen reacting with helium, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen, we can think of hydrogen bombs and understand why the sun has been able to keep us so warm from such a far distance for so long. But because we've got a powerhouse at the center of our solar system, our sun can even support the heavier elements like gold or uranium. With the element uranium named after the planet Uranus, the only planet named after Greek mythology for the god of the sky, its aqua blue hue matches the sky from its methane atmosphere. Fluctuating seasons from its 97-degree axis tilt, this potentially dangerous planet matches the metal element's danger to us here on Earth. So yeah, it makes sense that we use elements like uranium or hydrogen, elements the sun feeds off of, to cause so much destruction so close to home. From hydrogen bombs to the U.S. and the USSR and third world countries looking for uranium for nuclear bombs, even to depleted uranium for as military ammunition in high-density penetrators, we'll look for ways to kill each other with the elements at our disposal. Wondering why our planet has suffered mass extinctions every 26 million years or so, with upwards of 5 extinctions in this planet's history, from dinosaurs to reptiles and 96% of marine life to the max extinction on this event. Scientists can only guess that comets traveling through space cause these mass extinctions, but no one knows for sure. But some scientists theorize that if comets have long orbits, hundreds of years, that a twin star to our sun may have an orbit even more immense. Imagine our sun actually having an undetected companion star in a highly elliptical orbit. They've called this, as of yet undetected, red dwarf nemesis. And it would be our nemesis, with an orbit so large it would periodically send comets from the Oort cloud into the inner solar system, say, every 26 million years. And it's funny to think that if this were true, this Death Star theory, our nemesis, this red dwarf star, would travel through space, but still be so undetectable to us that it wouldn't even have the energy to hold on to those heavy elements like uranium. And even if this nemesis was a brown dwarf star, it would still even be too low in mass to even sustain hydrogen fusion. But still, with just the right orbit, it could still send smaller comet soldiers our way to let their little infantrymen help do us in. So, as I said before, we'll keep pointing our telescopes to the night sky, trying to keep ourselves safe beyond our global borders, while we use these same elements, like uranium, so we can threaten each other out of existence in our own little skirmishes right here on Earth. Thank you. I know, long but weird. That's what I go on my astronomy kick stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very, very much. I think, and I'm looking at my two Bob Knight, and one is staring at notes, and one is looking at me intently, and I think, oh, no, he looks away. I think I might have to give up Mr. Bob Lawrence. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Bob Lawrence. Come on. Come on, give it up. Woo! You're all number one. Every Bob in the house. Just you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh-oh. He's getting ready.
I have a few poems. The first one is fights, gun battles, explosions, and chases. Fights, gun battles, explosions, and chases. That's what the public wants. Ritualized, visceral violence with a dash of gratuitous sex. Okay, I'll give you what you want. Detective Squarejaw of Squarejaw and Lodestone, private investigators, calls in Suzette Hourglass, Gal Friday, more curves than a mountain road, to his office. Cigarette, he asks. You're not supposed to smoke in the workplace, she reminds him. This is my office, he says. I'll do what I want in my office. Your office is part of the workplace. Tough shit. Squarejaw draws hard on his cigarette. The lamplight falling on his chiseled features casts noir shadows onto his face. The cigarette tip glows bright red, then explodes. A white blazing fireball severs Squarejaw's head from his body and splatters gloop of detective brain around the office. That wasn't an ordinary cigarette, says Lodestone, surveying the scene. No shit, Sherlock, says Suzette, flicking ash and gloop off her clothing. I told him to quit smoking, says Lodestone. It's a bad habit, says Suzette, peeling off her messy dress. What are you doing? Asked Lodestone. Freeing myself from Squarejaw's blood and bits of brain. Take it all off, says Lodestone. We've got 5 minutes before the cops arrive. Meet you in my office. Hello, 911? Suzette Hourglass smiles, swipes her tongue across her top lip. The camera zooms in on her cleavage. Fade. Gotta get rid of my retainers there. All right. Bob's heard this one, but I don't think most of you have. 3 mad poets. Mad poet number 1. There are poems here, seething in the pipes, the walls, the floor. The house listens to our every word, observes our every action, encodes our lives into poetry. I must liberate the entombed language. He clawed at the drywall with an axe, at the hardwood floor with a shovel. When the medics took him away, his hands were bloody, raw, and covered with unpoetic dust. Mad poet number 2. Have I seen Valerie, the young secretary with the moon sweet face? Let me tell you what happened. She kept getting fatter and fatter, despite perpetual promises to diet. One day I saw her smoking in her car. I pleaded with her to quit. She did, and became so round, she floated out the window, over the trees, and into the sky, never to be seen again. I must be more circumspect in offering advice. The police brought him into the station for further questioning. Mad poet number 3. My wife wobbles like an auk. My house leaks like a sieve. When I walk through the back door, I smell something dead, but I cannot locate the corpse. The backyard where I planted grass is barren. My neighbors wish that I were buried beneath the naked soil. I crave return to my dreams, even though in dreamland I received an F for a course I didn't withdraw from in time. My wife finds another lover when I am away and abandons me. The searing light of the bomb shines through my hands and my eyelids. All this over and over and over and over and over and over again. But my dreams are more serene than everyday life. A boundless tunnel without a wisp of light. A tunnel where every waking moment is a birth trauma. This poet walks among us undisturbed, as if he were as sane as you or I. And my third and last poem, The Gift. At a recent reading, I learned that my body is a gift from God. A gift can be exchanged, right? Here I come, returns window. Don't try hiding from me, because if you're there, I will find you. I have had this body long enough. I'm putting in for the 6-foot-tall Adonis model. I'm tired of looking up at the rest of the adult world. I'm tired of thin, weak bones. I'm tired of having my teeth drilled. I'm tired of seeing my hair turn gray and disappear. I want a strong nose, a strong chin, a face that makes women swoon instead of snicker and turn away. I want a deep, resonant voice. No more Woody Allen through a cheese grater. What kind of gift is programmed to self-destruct? Why not a gift where the skin stays smooth, the kidneys and lungs don't shut down, the brain doesn't morph into rice pudding? You think I'm a whimpering ingrate, petulant, selfish, waging satanic rebellion against divine wisdom? No. Were I created in the image of an immutable, timeless being, I would have a legitimate claim to a body everlasting. But I was fashioned out of star stuff, the oceans, the land, the air, the energy of the primordial Big Bang. Nothing in the universe, not even the universe itself, circumvents the second law of thermodynamics. We all die. And when there is no one left to imagine God, God will die. My body is not a gift, but it is suitable material for a tragicomic rant, for a fleeting moment of entertainment for an appreciative, perhaps contrary, audience in this strange, strange realm we call life.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on that line. And when there's no one left to imagine God, God will die. Really? That one caught me. So that was very good. But then again, most everything that Bob Lawrence is going to do is going to be great. So I was going to read a poem from the 2013 date book, After the Apocalypse. Seems very appropriate because, you know, the Mayan calendar, blah, 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 nobody should be around, which is why the series in Scars from 2013 is After the Apocalypse for poetry, prose, and the date book. But a lot of times I read really short poems from the magazines, and select poems from both CC&D and Down in the Dirt magazine, which I edit, are chosen in this. And since I have links to them, I'm like, let me see how many of these I can pull in here. So I was going to read this poem, which was in the first week. I know it's old, but this is from Linda Webb Acito. And this is a short one called Too Freaking Real. Is that what mania is? Fallout, endless bump and grinding night, while the brackish red claws of the harpsies spin me their film of spiderweb fright? Is that what it is? An impenetrable hole in my senses, surrounded by the clashing, blasting, raging white light, commanding my spine, keeps me twisted and pale. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know, well, and that's a nifty thing. Normally I would have one poem for every week in this collection book, and in this first week I've got 2 in that first week, and at the beginning I've also got Falling, but I've read those before, so I'm not going to read any others. But I thought I would have a man taller than me come up and read a few poems, so please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. John Yatko. Give it up for John. Come on up here.
Maybe I'll sit down.
You can.
I'll sit down. How's that? What's that?
Make yourself comfortable.
I am going to make myself comfortable, you know, because I don't usually come up here and read. And I've got this name to try to pronounce that is kind of going to be kind of tough. This is a poem called Less of Who I Am. What? I should be doing this in a different order.
Louis something or other.
Yeah, you should do the other.
I'll start off with this one. Less of Who I Am by Luis Berriozabal, I believe is how you pronounce his last name.
Berriozabal? What is it? Berriozabal?
Or yeah, Barrios something.
Berriozabal.
Less of who I am is apparent day by day. Perhaps life is a bore, and I want to be alone. I want to shut the door and open a window. The air can come in. No one else is invited. I feel safe in here. Perhaps life can be less boring one day. I stopped caring about things. I will let idleness and silence take hold. And I'm going to read something off of this.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I'm actually going to read something that I wrote. Believe it or not.
You wrote something?
Believe it or not. Yeah, I actually wrote something years and years and years ago. But I haven't, you know, I'm very prolific writer here, you know. So you've probably heard this before, Bob and Bob. But I don't know if anybody else has.
Is that, have I?
Huh?
Have I?
It's called I Speak with Borrowed Words. Yes, you
That was
have.
in the calendar in like 04.
Yes.
Yay!
I speak with borrowed words. I'd like to think that these words were mine, these words of individual rights, of logic and reason, but I know they are not mine. I speak with borrowed words. I haven't had time for my own, with the job, house, school. You know how it is. Life just seems to take time away. If you ever hear me speak with wisdom, remember, I speak with borrowed words, because I haven't any of my own. Or I borrowed them from somebody else. You never know. Like this one here, this I guess you could say would be borrowed words. This is a found poem. Found poem from a mom in New Jersey. How is it that my daughter can fall out of bed, land 2 feet below on a hardwood floor, yet only awaken when I slowly pick her up and place her ever so gently back in bed? And I'm going back to the smartphone here. And this one is a haiku called Life. Trees barren of leaves, frozen rain clings to branches, iced webs trap my soul.
Wow!
And I'm getting out of here then.
Awesome! You just threw that last minute haiku thing. That was a later in the game John Yatko haiku, wasn't it? Hey, give me that thing. You make my research on it. Thank you. Yeah, hand that over to me. Thank you, thank you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, give up once more for John Yatko. Woo!
I had to say that because, you know, I wasn't there at the mic. But I also happen to have my handy dandy purple bag, dun dun dun, and that means that our feature this evening, and I only had so many bills to be able to throw into this thing, for our feature this evening. So our man, Mr. Patrick Hurley, deserves everything that we can possibly give him. I'm going to throw it over to this guy over here first. Boom. And that was a really bad throw. But then again, I wasn't a pitcher, so I can't do anything. But I just gave a lot of money. Give a lot of money to this man because he so deserves it. Trust me. I'm so looking forward to it. Especially if he reads anything from pull tabs and things you stick your fingers into. Because as my favorite title, I don't know, he's got a lot of very good poems, Mr. Patrick Hurley. So I'm looking forward to hearing them. I thought I would read something from my calendar of assorted people that were accepted. This is from this week, dun dun dun, and one of them from it is a piece by Christopher Miller called A Crushed Match. Nick receives a message on elove.com from a woman he'd been admiring ever since he logged on. And he and the woman arrange a meeting at Nico's, a popular Japanese restaurant. Nick buys some roses. He sees the pretty woman crossing the street in the distance to meet him. Then the woman gets splattered apart by a truck. Nick lays down the roses he bought at her grave. I know, crazy ideas here, but yeah, thank you very much, Christopher with a K. I would like to give it up for my handy-dandy, ultra-wonderful and ultra-sexy poet sidekick here. Please give it up for the Bobster himself, the Bobster boy. Give it up for Bob Rashko. Get out of here! Oh.
I'll give you titles and you tell me which two you want to hear, and then I'll read something by Daniel Higgs from the Outlaw. Outlaw Bible of American Poetry. I have Street Play. I have my tribute to John Hartford. I have Last Dream. I have Mike's World. I have Bomb Poem. I have For Paul, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I have Waiting for the Bus. Anybody? Did anybody hear what I just said? Waiting for the bus. And one more. Should I read them again?
I have to say Waiting for Buses, even though it's not even my own mic. Waiting for the bus.
That's right. It is named after the one and only Waiting for the Bus Collaborative's Monday night and second Sunday readings at, respectively, Jack's Tap, Sangamon and Jackson in Chicago in the West Loop, and second Sunday at Powell's, formerly Barbara's Bookstore, just south of Halstead on Roosevelt Road. Very convenient access to public transportation, although there is street parking within a few blocks of there, on the second Sunday of every month. I'm sorry I missed it this month. They had Mars Carlton, Gregorio Gomez, Tom Curry, and did you go, Bob? You weren't at that one either, yeah. I forgot who the other one was, but it was a good lineup. It was a really good lineup. Oh, Sarah Carson. I knew everybody's last name started with a C except Gregorio. Anyway. So do you want to hear Bomb Poem, Street Play, Last Dream, For Paul, John Hartford Tribute, or Mike's World?
Bomb Poem.
All right. Thank you. Waiting for the Bus, Bomb Poem, and then Daniel Higgs. It's running late, of course. 4 riders wait, quite bored. Above, clouds vie for dominion. A car zooms by on some kind of mission. Labradoodle pauses to check us out. His master offers a morning nod, and still no bus on the horizon. Ever our hopes continue rising. More time to wait, to wonder, to think. Frame your ideas so minutes can slip. iPod girl picks at a splinter. We can't stop time, but some of us linger. Below, a beer bottle disturbs the peace. Somebody's weekend was lively and free. And still no bus on the horizon. Ever our hopes continue rising. Thank you. Thank you. This is Bomb Poem from the Poetry Bomb, April 2011. Inspired by A.E. Hausman's Here Dead We Lie. Here, slightly dizzy, I stood on an unseasonably warm April day because I chose to belly up my shame and spring forth the images poets bring. Life in Chicago has none too much to give, but behold the carefree youth of today. They spill no drop of time for petty thought as this, and I was a teenager once, but with closed fist. Thanks. Now for some Daniel Higgs from the Outlaw Bible of American Poetry. This is from What I Have Learned About Boxing. Excuse me a minute. Taking off my glasses so I can see better. What I have learned about boxing. The curtain rips aside, the one-way mirror clears up to expose you in posture short of dignity, to prove you gave in to yourself finally, because you're nothing without trials, according to your school of navigation. I said I fear no pictures. It sounded like a battle cry when the delusion barreled down, eating hailstones like birdseed. What are we without trials? Spit to polish the shoe train, a stolen branch for the Easter procession, a predetermined turbine hidden in your liver clod. Bison and antelope and game shows and water towers and gang language, the simple instruments of little or no impact. I toil at their consoles, lever, jerk, and goof. I strike matches and herald mailmen. Wait for you to come around, like you might guess you ought to. Hoarding your numbers, coming of ageless eye glaze, searching for a mouth to trust along its natural border. Each whisker stores a breath with its name. Her face was a stable downtown bucket out, a grid like bleachers or pews or orchards or infantry. We're always fit to spar. This is where we live sometimes. On her face, the miser behind the headstone, the strategic lie that humiliates devotion for gut cosmic laughter, the twisting heels that deliver citations, buckets of foundry dope sloshing. When the money runs out, we sleep with the statues of heroes we mock. This is where we live a lot of the time, as close to her face as we can afford. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, thank you. You are awesome. I'm going to do one poem before we give it a little break, before we've got this phenomenal, awesome, very cool. I'm looking forward to less and less of poems for our feature tonight, Mr. Patrick Curley. Give it up for Patrick. Woo! I have to idiot scream applause because that's so awesome. I'm really looking forward. I really am. But because I'm doing this feature in 2 weeks and it happens to be before the next one, because I'll be going around at lunchtime. If you go to the Chicago Cultural Center downtown on Wednesday before... I thought it was on Washington.
You can go in on Washington.
Yeah, I thought I got a Washington address for that, but yeah. So this thing, he's snapping photos like mad. This culture center, which is actually a really cool building. If anybody's working downtown, want to take a break, you can always just go on over to the Chicago Cultural Center for this noon, a saloon noon. Which is actually the first thing that Kathleen Schennemeyer and other hosts are sponsoring. I'm in the first week for it, and so I'm going to be reading different periodic table poems, I swear. So this is a really short one that I've never read here before. This one is number 28 in the periodic table. This is Nickel. Nickel for your thoughts, he said to me. So I had to ask, a nickel? why? Because a penny is undervalued? And he said, maybe it's because your thoughts are worth so much more than a penny. And I thought, great, 5 times more, but still, it's only a nickel. Besides, a nickel is only about 25% nickel in the first place. But then again, even though it's 3/4 copper, the cost of the metals is worth more than the metal. So maybe I should take him up on his nickel offer. Then I could say my thoughts are worth something. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to be like 5 minutes. Everybody has to get a good drink. Keep Tressa busy. Keep her busy, because just in 5 minutes we've got a great feature from Patrick Hurley. Thank you.